You smell that? That is the smell of fear and fog. Hey everyone, welcome to another video. My name is Cyberhero.
Today, guys, we are going to be going over an extreme haunt guide of Halloween Horror Nights' 30th anniversary.
So, I brought him on because he is such a fanatic of Halloween Horror Nights that there's some stuff I don't even know that he's going to be able to tell you guys about. So, we're very excited. Before we get into the video, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you guys get notified when I do my uploads. If you guys like anything horror, anything gaming related, anything pretty much at all, I mean, this whole channel is just a variety channel. So, there's content for everyone. So, first things first, we're going to actually take you in from the beginning of Universal Studios, and we're going to take you through the whole park, from scare zone to haunted house to shows, whatever you're going to experience while being at Universal. So when you first walk in, after you see the opening ceremony, which you're going to want to be there and see, you're going to have two paths to go. You're going to take a right or you're going to go straight. If you go straight, you're going to go past Universal Studios store, and you're going to go past Despicable Me, and that is where the first scare zone is, right?
Yeah. So the first scare zone you are going to be going into is the 30 years, 30 fears scare zone. That is basically going to be your photo op scare zone with all of the icons from all of Horror Nights past.
No way.
So basically, if you are a Horror Nights fan, you will see all your icons that you've seen in the past, if you've gone at all. You see like Jack the Clown, Chance, Caretaker, Lady
Chance.
Luck.
Yeah.
Lady Luck, Fear, things like that. That's going to be your big scare zone in the beginning.
I can honestly say this is one of the scare zones that I'm most anticipated and excited for, just because I love the icons. Me and him actually have sat and watched all the old Horror Nights like videos and like trailers and stuff from past, because we've only been going since 25. So we've only been going since Halloween Horror Nights 25. So a lot of this stuff we weren't able to experience, but we had to learn. I guess we had to look it up and actually figure out what we've been missing out on, you know?
Alright, so if you keep going straight, you are going to be going to your first haunted house, which is going to be The Bride of Frankenstein Lives. That is going to be, basically, if you went to past Horror Nights, that's where like Ghostbusters have been, where you have the huge stage. It's where Shining was in 27?
So,
And yeah, 27. That was one of the houses that did come to Horror Nights 29.5, which I didn't go, we didn't go.
Stupid thing that happened last year that no one's talking about. This time, the Bride of Frankenstein is stepping out of the shadows and taking her fate into her own bloody hands. The mate will have her monster, and the monster his mate. So you're gonna enter the tower ruins where Frankenstein's monster pulled the lever to bring down the walls and destroy him and his bride, recoil in horror as she tries to bring him back at any cost, honing her diabolic genius one harvested body part at a time. Don't get caught between her and the brides of Dracula, who she captures and drains in hopes of reanimating her love. So this is very interesting, having like Dracula's brides, bro.
Yeah, basically you have like all the classic monsters like girls in there, which is pretty cool.
And sexy. So after you finish that haunted house, you keep moving forward past where Jimmy Fallon is, and actually I think it might actually be where Jimmy Fallon is, where the line starts, and you're gonna come up to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So if you're scared of chainsaws, which 98% of people are, this is gonna be the house for you.
You've seen the 1974 horror classic. Now it's your turn to experience it for yourself. Enter the Sawyer house and meet Leatherface and his demented family of merciless butchers. Will you make it out in one piece or in pieces? Step right into the story, experiencing every nightmarish moment for yourself. Explore every familiar room of the Sawyer home, from the parlor to the blood-splattered kitchen. You'll face carving knives, meat cleavers, meat hooks, and of course the roaring, slicing, flesh-ripping chainsaw. So this will be your first IP house of the event. There's actually not many of those this year, where there is 6 original property houses this year.
The originals are a lot more scary than the IP ones, because the IP ones are more like you're excited, you get to see this, show, movie come to life, but actually going through the originals are more terrifying to us, actually.
Me personally, I actually think the stories of the original property houses are way better than just like IPs, because IPs is like you're going through the movie.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, the original property is actually made by the creative team at Universal that is actually making a story in the house, which I think is way better.
Oh yeah, definitely. After that haunted house, you move on towards right next to Rip Ride Rocket. You're gonna actually have 2 haunted houses here. The first one being Revenge of the Tooth Fairy, and the second one
being the HHN icons captured.
which we're very excited about. The innocent traditions of the Tooth Fairy hide a darker ritual. It's an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Apparently they had this last year too, right?
Yeah, this was at the 29.5. It was one of the houses, and people seem to actually really like it, to be honest.
Yeah, and again, this is one of those originals, so you know it's gonna be a lot more scarier. It's gonna be a lot more scary than a normal haunted house is gonna be. So I'm very excited to get into it. No, I guess that rhymed. Yeah, it rhymed.
And right next to that, you will have what is my most anticipated. I don't know about you.
Yes, definitely.
My most anticipated one, which is the HHN icons captured, which for the first time ever, 30 years of characters from your worst nightmares come together to decide who's the most evil of them all. That's honestly the one I'm gonna be running to first.
Yes, this is the one, like, literally, you know how a lot of tip videos and stuff will tell you, you know, get in there fast, have a plan, all this stuff, but it's like, when they talk about having a plan, they're talking about, like, the one that's most anticipated that for you, go to, all right? Because you want to hit that one first, so that way you know you hit it before the end of the night.
Right. And the thing with the icons is it follows, like, the whole lore of Horror Nights, where in the 20th anniversary is when they all got captured by fear. But they all got captured by fear, so this is them all battling it out to see who's the most evil of them all. And depending on when you go to the event, which night, you see there's a different icon that wins at the end of the house each time.
Oh, so this is kind of interactive then.
Yeah.
In a way, because it's literally you're gonna be going, and like if you go one night and freaking Jack wins, right? You might go to the next night and Chance wins, or Lady Luck, bro. That's gonna be freaking dope. That's gonna be really neat to see. That actually is a good marketing scheme by them.
Yeah, to make you come
Because
back.
my gosh, you're gonna have to go like 4 nights, 5 nights this year. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just to see that. So after you finish these bone-chilling haunted houses, you're gonna move past those and go to what? What?
I'm sorry. You read that like it's an essay.
You're gonna actually come up to the all-time great tribute store. So if you guys haven't been to the tribute store before, it is a little store, literally, of like, it's decorated and everything, depending on what is big at Universal Studios. And usually, obviously, they have the Horror Nights, Halloween Horror Nights in there during this time of year, which is gonna be awesome because I actually just got in there.
Yeah, they actually just finished building it. The tribute store, for everyone that knows Horror Nights, is your one-stop shop for everything Horror Nights. It's where you can look at the scenery they build in there. You can buy your t-shirts, your memorabilia, stuff like that, and they always have secrets in there you can find as well. So you're gonna always want to stop by the tribute store at some point. So if you hook that right by Rip Ride Rocket going by the tribute store, you're gonna go into your next scare zone, which is going to be Seek and Destroy.
A ruthless alien cyber regime led by the cyber hero, no, just joking, the Controller, has taken over New York, turning humans into fuel. Succumb or be destroyed. This one I'm kind of iffy on. I don't really know how it's gonna be. So I'm hoping that it kind of reminds me of Invasion, the scare zone back in 2017, because that was actually really done well, and I actually really liked walking through that scare zone. So we'll see how this one looks. I'm kind of optimistic. I always like hoping that things look really nice, but I guess we'll find out.
So once you get through that scare zone, you're going to be going to the next scare zone, which is going to be a really cool scare zone, I think. It is going to be the Crypt TV scare zone.
I'm super excited about this one.
Yeah. So if you don't know what Crypt TV is, it's actually a YouTube channel that's been making these short films for, I don't know, like 5 years?
Couple years, yeah, it's been a couple years.
Yeah, and they've been doing like little, like, their own universe of monsters.
So in this scare zone, I'm very excited because we actually just recently caught up on some Crypt TV.
Right.
And got to know, and they actually have a playlist. Actually, Crypt TV on their YouTube channel has a playlist, which we'll leave down in the description below, where you can go check out the monster universe they have created that's actually going to be at Universal.
Step inside Crypt TV, a dark universe of monsters that reside in the same reality. On your screen, in your pockets, and now San Francisco.
That sounds hot.
Right.
So the creature that I'm most excited about is the Look-See, because like that was the first Crypt TV video I've ever seen. I watched the whole series of it and it was freaking amazing, and I want to see how they bring that to life at Horror Nights. So as your night's going through and you know you're winding down and you just want to chill and relax, maybe grab something to eat, at this point is where you might want to go check out Halloween Nightmare Fuel.
Basically, it's going to be replacing what we know as Academy of Villains.
Sad face.
It is a new show which is igniting Halloween Horror Nights, featuring fire, pyro, and aerial performers. So I think that's gonna be cool.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited to see what it's gonna be about. It reminds me kind of like more of like a circusy type like show, which maybe we'll see Jack.
Possibly.
So that'd be really cool. But I'm very excited to see a new show. I've always enjoyed the shows at Halloween Horror Nights. I loved Academy of Villains. We know things have happened that we won't talk about, but it's saddening to see them go, but I'm always excited to see a new show. I used to love Bill and Ted's show. It was freaking hilarious. So before that and all, it's been amazing. So I really, really want to see what this is going to be about, and I wonder if it's going to be more of like geared towards a horror show, right? Like, or it might be more like the horror makeup show, where it might be more like funny and have the little aspect of that kind of stuff. So I'm very excited, and we'll see what they come up with. The next haunted house we're going to talk about that you're going to be coming up to, we're going to come to another original haunted house called Welcome to Scary. So in Cary, bad things just happen. No one escapes from this small town beset by an endless parade of bloodthirsty creatures and maniacs. So this actually kind of gives me vibes of like the movie The Crazies. Like that's the first thing I think of. You remember? Yeah, like a small country town, literally just a bunch of crazy people, like maniacs, as they said. Bloodthirsty creatures, it really makes me wonder, like what it's gonna be including. Is that like vampires? Is that werewolves? They're all bloodthirsty. On the other side of Men in Black, there's gonna be 2 more haunted houses.
One of the haunted houses you'll be going up to is the Wicked Grove Realm of the Pumpkin. There's no breaking free from the vines of the Pumpkin Lord, here to entrap you in his ever-growing evil. It is going to be in one of Universal's tents, not a soundstage. There was a scare zone that did feature what we believe is the Pumpkin Lord before in a past Horror Nights. I'm not sure what year, but I think this is a house basically based off of that kind of story. And I'm just pretty excited about it because I love fucking pumpkins.
Yeah, dude, I mean, that's the...
I don't love fucking pumpkins.
He likes messing with squash on his Fridays. I already seen some mask and horror makeup showing like pumpkin guts coming out of their face and stuff. It's gonna be freaking amazing. If anything, this is gonna be one of those haunted houses that you might not get scared at, but I feel like will be like super cool to witness.
Right, and right now we'll pop up the facade of what is going up from an aerial drone shot of what's been being built recently for it, and just the outside itself looks pretty fucking cool to me.
I'm very excited. I cannot wait to go through it. And I hope that you guys will enjoy that one as well, because I am really anticipating and really excited about that one.
Yeah.
Right next to pumpkins, you got puppets. All right, we got the Puppet Theater Haunted House right next to the pumpkins, which I'm very excited about because dolls and freaking pumpkins are just scary, bro. They're just scary, dude. Like, you don't see any horror movie that has that crap and it's not, like, terrifying.
Right.
A puppeteer and a ballet troupe trapped in a deserted theater for years are about to turn you into a human puppet. That's your cue to scream. Ah! Right. Oh, this looks very exciting. I mean, can you just imagine actually becoming a puppet, like a human puppet? Like, I think it's gonna be really cool. I'm sorry, Pinocchio, I know you probably hate your life because we're about to witness what you've been going through. I want to be a real boy. Sorry, I had to get my Disney in there.
Wrong part.
As you get to the Simpsons area, a lot of times in the past, the Horror Nights have always had horror features and like creatures and like people dressed up, horror actors, scare actors in that area. So they might not have an actual scare zone there, but you will still have to be weary when you go through that zone. So I'm very excited to see what's going to come up. I know in the past they used to have a very iconic scare actor that had no legs and he was in a wheelchair. And he used to chase you around with a chainsaw in a wheelchair. So it's really freaking cool. I'm very excited to see what they got coming up this year for that zone. Next, you should be coming to the play area and E.T., which obviously we love E.T., and in this area, you're going to come up to 2 more haunted houses. First one being an IP, The Haunting of Hill House. This one I'm very excited about because I actually just watched the show on Netflix. If you guys haven't watched the show, go watch it before you go to Horror Nights because you're going to get some of the backstory about what the kind of creatures, haunts and stuff you're going to see in the haunted house. So I'm very excited because I became a super fan of this show after watching it. We literally binge watched it in like a day and a half.
It's a cool
show.
show.
Really good. So if you guys haven't seen it, definitely go check it out.
This is going to be the Netflix house of this year. This is the Stranger Things. This is the American Horror Story house basically for this year. This is also going to be your area where you have the most congestion of people. This is going to be where your 2 most popular IP houses are going to be, is this ET area. So let's learn a little bit about Hill House if you don't know about it. It stands like a brooding creature waiting for its victims. Enter the decaying remains of an aging mansion that lives, even if all who dwell there are long dead. Step right into Netflix's supernatural masterpiece, The Haunting of Hill House. Each unsettling room, each darkened hallway takes you deeper and deeper into your worst nightmares. Come face to face with the tall man, the bent-neck lady, the ghost in the basement, and more. Enter the red room, and you may find yourself spending all of eternity listening to the sound of your own screams. And right now I'll put up some pictures of the facade. Looks very cool to me. Looks like they built an actual entire house for you to go through, which is awesome.
It's kind of like a first in a way, because I know like when you go through Krampus, that one year, Krampus was really good, the way they designed the set and everything, and actually being cold inside. So like just this, me thinking about the Haunting of Hill House haunted house, I'm literally kind of comparing it to Krampus, because I'm like, I can just see you walking in, you're gonna get a totally different vibe just checking into this house, bro.
Right.
And I'm very excited, especially like I said, being a fan already of the series.
Yeah.
This one, like I said, it might not be scary, but it's gonna be freaking amazing to see them bring that show to life.
And it's going to be one of those houses in the sound stages, and those are always the best houses, in my opinion. Like, obviously you have your originals that I think are the best story, best kind of thing right there, but when it comes to set and a big broad space for you to walk around in, the big longest houses is always the ones in the sound stages.
You'll never leave. You're about to enter Hill House. It's coming to Halloween Horror Nights. Never go alone.
Oh my God! The next IP house that you're gonna come to right next to Haunting of Hill House is going to be last year's haunted house, Beetlejuice. Hearing from a bunch of people that were able to visit during last year's 29 and a half Halloween Horror Nights, a lot of people were very, very impressed with the Beetlejuice house. So we know how it goes. Say it once, say it twice, say it 3 times. It's time to turn up the juice and see what shakes loose as the original film comes to life, more twisted and terrifying than ever. Beetlejuice will haunt, and send you screaming out of the haunted house. It's showtime!
Pretty good impression. So this will be, again, the most congested area. Everyone is going to be running to Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is the most favorite of this year that everyone's going to be going to. So most people will run to it. If you want to run to it, cool. I would not run to it. You're going to want to get every other house where everyone's in the line for Beetlejuice, because that Beetlejuice line will be long.
Yeah. And I think it's just been because it's so anticipated, because the film is so old, and then bringing it to life. So bringing this to life for the first time in a haunted house is going to be really nice and really exciting for people that weren't able to go last year. So after you're shaking off some sandworms after the Beetlejuice house, you're going to move towards Gorewood Forest, another scare zone taking place in that wooded area that honestly has always been my favorite area for scare zones. One of the most iconic was Trick or Treat there, and I always loved Trick or Treat. So being able to see what Gorewood Forest is going to be about is going to be very exciting.
16 years after the gory sacrifices of Terra Corensis, the heartless Terra Queen is back. Evil is in her nature. So basically, for people that don't know, Terra Queen was a scare zone back in 2005. Back in Islands of Adventure, they made the entire park Terra Corentis, which was her area. Ooh. And it had little zones, and Gorewood Forest was one of the scare zones in there. Terra Queen basically is like this demon lady that sacrifices humans and all this kind of stuff. And she's, I believe in the last Horror Nights that she was in, that she was like, I'll return in 15 years or whatever, and so now she's back for the 30th year.
Oh! Now that's pretty neat. I didn't know that little backstory of her saying that, so that's kind of cool, bro.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Man, you know, I always talk about, you know, Marvel MCU and stuff, man. Maybe Horror Nights as a universe that we don't know about.
I mean, it
playing
does.
this out for years, man.
Has its own thing. But basically, a Central Park, like he was saying, is the best area for scare zones. You had Trick or Treat, which I think is one of the most iconic zones,
yes,
with all the pumpkins in the trees and all that stuff. So I'm really interested to see what they're gonna do with this one in there.
There is a Lagoon show this year at Horror Nights, and I'm very excited to see what this one's going to be about. It's called Marathon of Mayhem Carnage Factory. There's no manufacturing the screams as a terrifying show comes to life in Universal Studios Lagoon. It's a fear factory. So, it really doesn't tell you what's gonna be here. You don't know anything about it. I'm assuming, just going off of theme parks that I've been to, it might be like a laser light show. It could be anything like that, you know, fireworks, whatever. That's what a lot of places do when they do stuff over water. So I don't know exactly what it's gonna be about, but I'm very excited to see a show on the water.
Yeah. So there was actually a Lagoon show on last Horror Nights 29, and it was all the Stranger Things and that kind of stuff. And what they did is they would shoot fountains of water up and project images onto the fountains.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I know they did the giant mind flayer from like Stranger Things. They put it like in the background on a building in the back, a soundstage in the back, and they had him approach closer when he got into the water and stuff. So I'm thinking with this one, it's probably going to be, with it being an anniversary year, probably a lot of the icons and stuff being projected, like Jack and being projected throughout it and that kind of stuff. And then every house that's probably in there will be projected as well. But yeah, big fireworks, big kind of things is what I'm expecting to.
And finally, we're going to come to our last scare zone of the night. Lights, camera, action, Eddie's Revenge.
Get ready for the feel-bad movie of the year. Eddie Schmidt, Jack the Clown's brother, is filming a horror film and the monsters are real. So basically, if anyone doesn't know who Eddie is, he was supposed to be the icon for Horror Nights 2001. So he's supposed to be right after Jack made his debut in 2000. He's supposed to be Jack's brother that comes and kills Jack in 2001. But with 9/11 that happened, they actually toned down Horror Nights that year and made Jack the icon for that year again. So Eddie was actually shoveled. Right here, I'll put a billboard up that was actually shown around the time of 2001 with his big eyes on the, looking over, I think it was I-9. It was looking over I-9 that says, I see you. They had a cool ass marketing for him, but they ended up not using him. They used him again, I'm not sure what year it was, but they had a scare zone for him where you went through like a little cage area that was ran by him, but it looks like we're actually gonna get like a big scare zone where he's running his own kind of movie, which I'm kind of excited.
Coming from someone that loves films and stuff like that, I'm very excited to see how they're gonna put this together with each scenes, and how I already got like it playing in my mind of like these monsters like acting like it's a scene, but these people actually dying, you know?
Right.
It's gonna be really cool to see.
And all these little stages that we'll show throughout the video is all the movies he's filming is all actually scare zones from the past of Horror Nights. Like you have Vamp 55, you have Invasion, which was the alien one, and you have I'm not sure what else there is, but there's a lot of basically callbacks to old scare zones.
So it's gonna be really nostalgic for a lot of folks going through that scare zone as well. So again, if you're someone that doesn't get scared easy, you know, and it takes a lot, you might not get scared, but it might be something very nostalgic and very cool to you to go and witness. So, and as you get to the end of the Horror Nights night, as you're coming back around to the entrance, you're gonna come to where they usually put the Shrek 4D haunted houses. And in the past, it's been Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which was freaking amazing. This year, it is going to be Case Files Unearth Legendary Truth. Follow the trail of a private eye as an investigation into the supernatural leads you into a dark world of ghouls and terrifying creatures.
Now this is a sequel to a house from Horror Nights 20, which was a very interactive house called Legendary Truth, where you investigated like ghosts and ghouls and things like that. Where you actually were able to get in your own group and actually interact with the whole haunted house. They gave you an iPad to look through, and it was just a very interactive haunted house. So I think this house, I'm hoping, is interactive again. So
I think it'd be really cool to have an interactive haunted house, and I think that would be bring more aspect and bring that kind of, you know, how they have the simulator rides at Universal. He's gonna be bringing that simulation into Horror Nights, which I think would be really cool to witness. So I hope a lot of that we have talked about or brought up to you about Horror Nights you didn't know about yet, or maybe it helped you with your trip going to Horror Nights. But I think it's really cool to learn about the haunted houses and where they're coming from and all the creative aspect behind these scare zones and stuff before you go. So hopefully you guys were able to enjoy the video, and if you guys did, if you don't mind, make sure you guys hit that like button. Liking the video always helps out the channel greatly, and also leave a comment about what haunted house you are most excited about. Could be haunted house, maybe scare zones, or maybe even the pizza fries, you know, whoever knows. But leave a comment down below, we will be sure to answer you. Make sure you guys go check out this video right here. This is what YouTube recommends, and make sure you guys check out this video because this is what I recommend, and if the hero recommends it, you're gonna freaking love it.
Universal's Halloween Horror Nights, back for the 30th year of fear. Brace yourself for Netflix's The Haunting of Hill House, Beetlejuice, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and more.